Hello everybody and welcome into the weekly Warrior Preview. We're changing things up finally. We are actually in person, not on Zoom, and we have a special guest with us, Elizabeth Patrick, and many of you know her as EP, the Assistant Athletic Director for Thompson High School. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jerry's over there hanging out.
Yeah, we're out in front of the school, and obviously on this grass, all I need is a 9-iron and a ball, and I'm ready to take off and hit a few balls, but it's, you know, it's end of the season, end of the school year. We've got a lot of questions, of course, but we're still in a good mood, and we're very much excited about what the future holds.
We have a lot coming up. We're going to talk to Coach Judy Green from the volleyball team, Coach Drew Powell from basketball, and of course, we're going to chat with EP. But first, a quick word from our sponsors.
Blair Pharmacy in Weatherly is a locally owned full-service pharmacy and your headquarters for official Thompson gear. From prescriptions to gifts, Kim and Daniel Blair are here to serve you.
Come see us for all your Warrior gear.
Looking for amazing family dentistry in Alabaster? Doctors Albritton and Artavino strive to stay up to date on the latest techniques in dentistry and materials to help provide the best treatment available. From cleanings to same-day crowns and even whitening, Albritton and Artavino Family Dentistry is here to serve all your dental needs.
Go Warriors!
If you need new upholstery, then you need Leave It to Weaver, residential, commercial, marine, automotive, and medical. If it can be covered, then Scott Weaver and his team can do it efficiently and affordably.
Warriors #1!
Are you looking for a local gym to call home? Well, look no further. Join us at Gym Time for group classes, great shakes, and a hometown feel. Your gym, your fitness, your time.
Go Warriors!
Welcome back, everyone, and we're joined, of course, by EP, or Elizabeth, but we all know her by EP. EP, tell us your role here at Thompson. What do you do?
There is a great plethora of things that I do. I work with Coach Pitts, which is our athletic director here. I do a lot of eligibility, scheduling. You know, sometimes kids call me the team mom. I got a lot of Mother's Day texts from athletes, which is the sweetest thing. But most of it is just eligibility, a lot of social media and marketing, just trying to get our kids out there as well as Thompson as a whole. We spend a lot of time in the office. Eligibility is huge, just making sure that all of our kids are eligible and that they have their physicals and all their paperwork they need so that they can hit the field.
EP, when I texted you that I wanted to have you on the show, one thing I said the reason why is because I can tell Thompson's in your heart. But I want to know how you got here. What's your path to get you to Thompson?
Well, crazy enough, I am from Tuscaloosa. I got my undergrad at Alabama, and then I went to get my master's in sport business management. I've known collegiate sports my whole life. My mom works for Alabama women's basketball. I worked for the gymnastics team at Alabama in college, and so I always thought, like, hey, I'm going to work with the college team. And then during grad school, the Lord just laid on my heart, like, your heart's, like, you love high school kids. Why are you running from high school kids? And so I actually did my capstone project on high school kids, and just like the percent of kids who go from high school into college to play sports and kind of like what that looks like. And so I sat down with the dean and assistant dean and I said, I'm supposed to be a high school athletic director. And they looked at me and they're like, we've had a lot of people come through this program and no one's ever said that.
No one says that's what I want to do.
Yeah, so I was like, awesome. So they just, you know, were like, hey, we encourage you to send letters to high school ADs and just see if you can get some guidance. And so I sent 10 letters just blindly in the mail, and Coach Pitts called me. And I was like, can I come shadow you? And so I was actually blessed with the opportunity to come shadow Thompson for 2 weeks, and I loved it. I immediately fell in love with it. But in the meantime, I accepted a job at UAB, and I was just like, well, I guess college is it, you know? But then in September of that year, Coach Pitts called me and said, hey, I have a position if you want to come. And since I was in Birmingham, I was like, I'm in, and the rest is history. Here I am.
It's funny how that kind of works into place. And you mentioned you've got a connection with Alabama, and so does Coach Judy Green.
Yes.
And so before we kind of get to an interview we did with her, I'm going to talk about her with you a little bit and the impact she has on this player. She's a great asset to Thompson.
Yes, and it's so crazy. I grew up going to watch Coach Green play, coach at Alabama. And so when I got here on that first day, I was like, that is Coach Green. And I was just shocked. I was like, I went to all of her matches. My parents have season tickets. And so I immediately called my parents. I was like, you're not going to believe it. Coach Green is at Thompson. And so it's just been really cool that I got to see her be a head coach at Alabama and then work alongside with her here at Thompson as well.
We had a chance to catch up with Coach Green because even though the pandemic's going on and we're having to not see her kids, she's keeping her players really busy right now. Coach Judy, thank you so much for joining us. You know, it's not the situation we want to kind of chat with you before the season ends. Normally we're talking to you about your camp that's upcoming. It's normally the last week of May, and you guys have plans for that, even though it's not taking place right now. What are those plans?
Well, unfortunately, we've had to reschedule our Little Warrior Camp of Champions. It was scheduled, obviously, for the end of May as normal, but right now we've tentatively rescheduled it for July 27th through the 29th. And, you know, that also, I mean, obviously is tentative based on, you know, what the governor and, you know, the Alabama Public Health Department will allow us to do at that time. But we're excited, and trust me, we're missing it. We're going to miss seeing all those kids and the energy that's in the arena. And, you know, we're just hoping and praying that we get an opportunity to do that, though, in July.
I hope so, too, because I know you have a lot of little kids that enjoy that program and get exposure to volleyball. And your players do such an amazing job with it. And speaking of your players, I saw a video on Twitter where they were introducing the team, and it was the cutest thing, the full house, and you said that was a senior project.
It was. I think our staff has done a great job of keeping our teams engaged and our players connected, and we gave our seniors a challenge, and we said, hey, you guys, it's your turn to come up with a team project that includes everybody on the team, and whatever you do, go for it. And they came up with the TikTok video to the music of Full House, and you know, I thought it was outstanding. And honestly, even though we've been distanced, you know, away from each other, I feel like our team has really grown closer together because we have done a lot as a team since March the 16th, basically.
You really have. I've seen the players take over the Twitter feed, and I've seen them do workout videos and posting and sharing them. And you mentioned your seniors, and let's talk about those seniors you have coming in for next season. You've got some strong leaders coming on board.
We do. We have 4 seniors, which, you know, that's half the number we had last year. You know, we had a big class of seniors in 2019, but, you know, this group is a very determined group. You know, I think that they're very well connected with all the kids on our varsity team. You know, we're probably the most fortunate group in the state because we actually had tryouts before all this happened. So our teams are selected. So we've been hard at work since the end of that tryout date, you know, developing team chemistry and working on team leadership. And, you know, we feel like that we do have a great group in Kelsey Tangle and Sophie Bearden and Brindley Glover and Farrah Madden. You know, they're all great kids, great students, and kids of great character, and we're excited.
I've watched Kelsey a lot on Twitter. You know, we've had her on the show a couple of times, and I feel like we're watching her grow so much, not just as an athlete, but just as an amazing young woman. I think she's a strong leader on your team, and she was set for the All-Stars. And that's not going to take place now, but she still has a bright future ahead of her, so many opportunities.
You know, Kelsey, I mean, obviously is being recruited by a lot of schools. Yeah. You know, her dream and her goal is to go to the Coast Guard Academy. And you know, she's waiting right now on them to name a new coach. Their coach actually resigned last week, and so they're in the process of hiring a new coach, but, you know, it's in her blood. She is a unique high school kid. She truly is. You know, she's someone who gets her hands dirty. She's blue collar all the way. She's not afraid of hard work, and you know, she really does want to serve her country, and that's why I do think that she's a great servant leader.
That's amazing to see someone her age with that kind of dedication, and that's her goal, is to serve her country that way. So we don't really know what to expect yet for our season, but you guys are going to be hard at work as soon as you can again. Is there anything new fans can expect whenever we see you guys back on the volleyball court?
I think you will see the happiest group of people that you have ever seen in your lifetime. I think that our teams will have more fun. I think the coaches will have more fun. I think we're just going to go with the flow, and we're just going to go out and we're going to volley every day, because when you get something that you love that's taken away from you, I think it really makes you step back and try to figure out, do I really love what I'm doing? And I've seen that oozing out of our players, and I just think we're excited. But it's hurry up and wait. It's hard. The waiting part has probably caused the most anxiousness, probably for all of us. But we've all tried to just stay in the day and be where our feet are, and be good servant leaders for our families and our community and our teammates and coaches. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people, probably, to basically endure what we're doing, to be honest. They've actually handled it like champions, and they've done it with a warrior spirit. So what are you going to look for in the fall? Fun and competitive, and that's it.
I'm going to wrap up one more thing. I mentioned your players on Twitter, but I've seen you on Twitter, and you have been so active. I've seen the pictures you've posted of you here at the school, having your morning prayer, your morning mile. You've really led this team by example. And you mentioned earlier, talking to Philip, our producer, you're in the best shape ever during this time. So you've really kind of been like leading your team, for example, by working out. I see your post, I'm like, I need to go run with Judy.
Well, I don't know. I felt called to do something, and it just hit me one morning. Number one, we can always be in better shape and more physically fit, and but at the same time, this is much bigger than me personally. But I wanted to do something for our school, and I couldn't go in and help Tracy with the lunches and things like that. So I decided to start Steps for Warriors, and every morning by 6:45, I'm usually here and I run my mile, and I pray somewhere around the school for our students and our teachers and our staff and our coaches and our admins and our city leaders that will lead us through this situation, this pandemic that we're in. And it's just been uplifting for me personally, and I feel like that we can never have enough prayer, and you're always invited. If you can get up at 6:45, I've got 2-mile routes that I do. One's faster route than the other one. I try to do that one when I'm not feeling the greatest that day, but it's really it's just made me feel like I'm doing a very small part for Thompson High School, because I miss it. I know our kids miss it. And we're just counting the seconds, if the good Lord will let us be back and do what we do.
You're definitely an example, and we're so grateful to have you. Coach Green, we appreciate you so much taking the time to come chat with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always good to see y'all too.
So how many times have I said you cannot be in a bad mood when you're around Judy Green? I mean, it's just no way. What a great interview, Donette. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back here on the Weekly Warrior Preview.
Brooklear Pharmacy on Highway 119 is a full-service pharmacy that provides top-quality products and hometown service at competitive prices. The Brooklear family has been in business for more than 50 years and is proud to be a part of Alabaster.
Go Warriors!
For quality pest control service from an experienced and reliable company, Mr. Bugs offers residential and commercial pest and termite control service. And we can even take care of your lawn. Mr. Bugs Pest Patrol, 205-663-1919.
Welcome back to the Weekly Warrior Preview. We're joined again with Elizabeth Patrick. And, I tell you, we talked about this earlier, it's on your heart. I watched you on the sidelines with these players, and let me tell you, you're not going to see anybody more enthusiastic about this team. You are running up and down the sidelines, getting the crowd pumped up, but these players are running to you when they make touchdowns. Like, you mean a lot to these players.
Oh, well, they mean so much to me, and Coach Pitt tells me all the time, EP, you got to calm down. Like, he tells me I'm too invested, and I get so into it, and, you know, officials have said something to me about it before, like, you are really just everywhere, and I love them so much. You know, I don't have any kids of my own yet, and people, you know, I'm in that phase of life, they're like, hey, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? And I'm like, y'all, I have over 500 kids that I just love so much. But, yeah, I love them, and a lot of the guys, we have secret handshakes that we do after they score touchdowns, and it's just, like, they're my heart. I love them, and just there's not a better group of guys out there to celebrate. So they're easy to celebrate when they're that great.
I'm going to help Jerry kind of transition to you because you mentioned the officials. I've been at the basketball game sitting behind EP, and the officials have really come over there and said, we're about to get you guys to leave. And I'm like, well, I'm not with her.
Yes.
Speaking of basketball, we had Coach Drew Powell on this show. We did an interview with him. I understand there's a connection between your dad and Coach Drew.
Well, it's actually between my mom, but it's the craziest thing. You know, when Coach Powell came in, just for his interview, I was just telling my mom, you know, because, you know, she has a heart for basketball. I was like, Mom, this guy, Coach Powell, came in. And she was like, is it Drew Powell? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And he was a manager for the men's basketball team at Alabama. And so my mom got to work closely with him. And so it's just such a small world that we all ended up right here at Thompson and Alabaster.
Here's that interview with Coach Drew Powell. Coach, end of the school year was unprecedented times, obviously. What have you been doing to stay busy the last few weeks?
You know, it's been unprecedented for sure. What a strange time we're in, not only for us, but for our kids, the parents, families, you know, really for everybody. You know, we're just doing the best we can to maintain contact with our players. We're having meetings. We're sending workouts to them. We're FaceTiming them. We're doing as much as we can to stay in contact. We actually did a drive-by and went by and saw a lot of our players, you know, from using social distancing, obviously staying in the car. But it was really good to see their faces. And of course, we like the meetings with the FaceTime component. And just sending them workouts, just staying in touch as best we can.
All right, let's talk about the future. I know you got a little bit of information, but obviously it could change at any moment. But as of today, where do we stand as far as can we restart? What do you know the latest?
Yeah, so as of right now, you know, I'm kind of like everybody else, just kind of a wait and see, and it's a very fluid situation. And as of right now, obviously we cannot have any contact with our kids in terms of face-to-face and workouts and practice and all that stuff. Hopefully June the 8th is our target date now, but obviously that could change before this interview is done, to be honest with you. So we're just crossing our fingers, really just praying for everybody that's affected by this pandemic.
All right, let's talk about players. I know you got one in particular, Cheney, that got a big announcement. I want you to say what that is.
Yeah, I'm super proud of Cheney, as is everybody that knows him. He's a very likable kid. He's one of the hardest workers in the school. His GPA is over 4.6, and he's really coming to his own as our team leader this past year. It was his senior year, and after the season, you know, he continued to work extremely hard, continued to rack up offers, and I'm very excited that he committed to the University of Alabama at Huntsville last week. So looking forward to a great academic and athletic future for him up there.
All right, and a couple more guys that I think some stuff got canceled as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, so last year the HSAA started the Elite 100 Showcase, which they try to identify the top 100 players in the state, and they bring them in and have skills workout, and then they play some 5-on-5. But they get as many college coaches in as they can. We had one player, Trey Roberson, selected last year to compete, and then this year we were fortunate to have two guys, which obviously I feel like we could have more that are deserving, but two guys that made that Elite 100 Showcase. Our senior point guard, Grant Hopkins, and then also a junior, rising junior, Wesley Roberson. So we're really excited that you know, that their futures picked up traction as well.
All right, let's talk about your team a little bit coming back. I know you got some seniors you hate to lose, but where do you stand when we get started? Who's going to be some of the leaders of the team coming back?
Yeah, man, I'm glad to talk about this. I'm excited to even think about getting started again. Just really excited. You know, our rising senior class is a really good group. Really excited about Grant Hopkins, we spoke about earlier. Brad Lewis works extremely hard. Stephen Walker, Jack Dorlick can really play. He's been playing varsity for several years. We've got several guys there that that we're really excited about and are going to show great leadership. And then we've got a good group of juniors coming along as well. So really excited about, it'll be a little different group, but we're excited to get going and really just to see them initially, to be honest with you.
All right, Coach, anything you want to say? That's, I know we're wrapping up the year and we're standing out in front of this magnificent school with the big dome in the background. So what are your feelings inside personally about what's happening and where we're going?
Well, it's just a very unfortunate situation, obviously one that you don't wish on anybody, and it's actually occurred to everybody. And you know, we try to keep up with our guys as much as we can, make sure they're in good spirits, you know, mentally and physically. You know, this can take a toll on you when you have to stay at home and not do what you're accustomed to doing and seeing the people you're seeing and going to places you go. And so just trying to keep all those guys positive and let them know, you know, regarding our camps, which were scheduled at the end of June, those are kind of up in the air right now, kind of out of our control. We love doing camps. We usually do a couple a year, and hopefully we'll be able to get those going again, you know, as soon as we're allowed to. So that's one highlight of our year that we really look forward to, our players look forward to, and I hope our campers look forward to, our future Warriors.
All right, Coach, good luck over the summer. Hope you have a great summer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Go Warriors.
You know, basketball is one of those sports that I love, and I mentioned to Powell beforehand, Grant Hopkins. I adore him. You know, he helps my son a lot as a mentor, and he mentioned this kind of shows you the kind of athletes we have, that now's the time to work. These kids are working non-stop right now, even on their own, so you guys are so blessed to have them. We're going to chat with EP a little bit more, but first, a quick break. The Sassy Shopper Boutique has fashion for the real moms of Alabaster. From a casual game day outfit to a night out, the Sassy Shopper has an amazing selection of clothes, accessories, and gifts to fit all occasions and styles.
Go Warriors!
Dr. Stan Stubbs with Shelby Family Chiropractic in Pelham provides quality chiropractic care using the latest technology available. From sports injuries to natural aging, Dr. Stubbs offers K-laser treatment, trigger point dry needling, disc decompression, and other proven methods to get patients up and moving.
Shelby Fence Company is a local family-owned business serving Shelby County and surrounding areas since 1989. You can count on our team of highly experienced installers to give you quality products, expert installation, and friendly customer service. For your next fence project, remember Shelby Fence Company in Alabaster. The Warrior Express Texaco in Alabaster is a proud supporter of Thompson High School. Whether it's fuel, snacks, drinks, coffee, donuts, or pizza, the Warrior Express is the only stop you will need to make. We love the Warriors so much we named our store after them. Go Warriors!
Welcome back, everyone. You know, we're outside Donette. We've been in quarantine, I think, for 6 weeks. We hadn't said anything about it, but at least we're out of quarantine.
We are. We're in the sunshine. You know, we've been able to kind of be on campus, see the athletes. We're going to have graduation soon.
Yes.
We're going to have to buy her like mountain boxes of tissues because she's going to cry the whole time. I know it's going to happen.
The entire time, yes.
There's a lot of happy parents and seniors around Alabaster because of that, and I know it's going to be exciting, and before you know it, football season will be here.
It will.
That's right. Now let me tell you a little secret. For those of you who are don't follow EP or social media with Thompson sometimes, she's got a little thing she does during football season that I understand you have retired that. Is that correct?
It is retired, yes, sir. It started 2 years ago, and Noah Tanner was my sidekick, and he's one of those that I'm going to be crying over on Tuesday.
He's my neighbor. I'm already crying.
Yes, and I just couldn't carry it on without him, you know, but he was just such a big part of it. So
well, it's called Game
Day Faces.
Game Day Faces,
yes,
and she
sir.
takes her camera, and her and Tanner go around. I mean, her and Noah go around the school, and you do a game. But nobody has ever turned the camera on you. So here you go, thousands of people. I want to see your Game Day face.
Gosh, Sherry.
Do it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
You can't top that. We'll see you next week right here on the Weekly Warrior Preview.